Now it's recording. The button was being very finicky. Okay, everyone. So I was going to do this whole dramatic thing with me dressed in black and everything, but I couldn't actually find any of the stuff. I couldn't find my black hoodie thing. Anyway, yeah. So Marianne Williamson has suspended her campaign, it seems, and I thought I would just get on to sort of appreciate all the people who supported. Particularly, well, I mean, God, I should go through so many names. Um, Lorna Courtgard and Ree Cherie and Barbara Christian Morse. And these are particularly people who I met on Facebook. Actually, Ree I met here on YouTube, but people that were not so involved in the Twitter sphere, but were incredibly active in making efforts. Andrea Loritz Frey. I'm going to be forgetting people, but just like it is really true what Marianne said about, the people are so much better than you imagine, and the system is worse. And it's even worse than I thought last time. Like, basically, I don't know shit, because back in 2020, I didn't think Biden could beat Trump. I didn't think he had what it took. And I thought Marianne Williamson was the only one in that crowded Democratic field who had the thing. And this time I thought that the media would be slutty enough to give her a town hall based on their notion that she is eccentric. I thought they would want to showcase her for the clicks and she can say some unexpected things, and that actually is amazing for media, especially the political sphere, which tends to be pretty boring. Like, you tend to have people who are talking like affordable, sustainable, expand infrastructure, reduce inflation. And I mean, it's just like mind-numbing rhetoric usually, which may be why, a third of the country doesn't vote. Or maybe it's the fact that they usually use fear-mongering when they can't sort of rally up enough charisma to get people to get up and vote. They use fear. And the thing about fear is quicker. So anyway, I'm kind of frustrated and not really sure where the blame should lie. Like, on the one hand, I did think that this campaign was a lot more professional than the previous one, and I think that I wouldn't have gone that professional in the appearance of it. Like, I feel like there was an element of conforming to the status quo in terms of the presentation, which I actually think in a media blackout, you're more wanting to court the viral potential rather than court that kind of stodgy, staid media rhetoric, which loves terms like affordable, sustainable, and expanding infrastructure. Except when they don't. Like, that they certainly, I would say that the media, including CNN, adores Trump and looks for any opportunity to feature him. Anyway, so I'm kind of mad at Kyle Kolinsky because he dragged Marianne out of retirement for this and then pushed her into New Hampshire, which I wouldn't have done. I would have focused on South Carolina. I would have started a bidding war, a reparations bidding war with Joe Biden in South Carolina, if at all possible. And Marianne said that the machine there is very locked. And I kind of would like to know more about that, like how it's locked. I mean, we know about $20,000 to get on the ballot, which is shocking, but not as shocking as $200,000 to get on the ballot in the state of New York, which is scandalous money. Um, anyway, yes, I want Kyle to admit that he was wrong because he's so vociferous when he's talking, and and he was so sure about this New Hampshire thing, and I was looking at it thinking, yeah, but the state constitution doesn't necessarily trump the national constitution, um, the federal constitution, I guess it's called, and and also, Marianne Williamson's strength is her ability to rouse a crowd, which I thought would play better in South Carolina than New Hampshire, the Granite State, which I think is kind of set in its ways, in a funny sort of way. I think it's not for nothing that it's called the Granite State, whereas I have a feeling that the emotional voter lives in South Carolina. Although, as Sabby Sabs pointed out, it is an older voting bloc, so you do have to take that into account. And Marianne was focusing much more on the youth this time, so maybe that's why they did that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know shit, because I really thought that she would break 10%. And it is, like New Hampshire is a small state that you can get around in person reasonably well, so it should have gone better. Anyway, so, oh yeah, and then there's Forbes. So there's been a lot of complaints about mainstream media not covering Marianne, and I mean, this is the easiest target to pick, and we really railed at CNN, and I mean, I think if you get 15% on the Quinnipiac poll, you deserve a town hall, especially when people polling at 1%, 2%, 4% got town halls. But that said, yeah, they had her on. They're still better than PBS. They had her on for a podcast thingy, which is like an audio thing. But so if I was to rank the lowest performing media outlet in regards to the Marianne Williamson campaign, it would be PBS. And the highest performer out of, so-called mainstream media would be Forbes. Now, one interesting thing that I just noticed about Forbes is the video announcing her campaign launch and the announcement speech from March only has 24,000 views in 11 months. And the one that just came out on Forbes also, announcing her suspension of her campaign, has 20,000 views in 15 hours, which is kind of viral. Or, I mean, it's not viral. Technically, viral is 100,000 shares. So, which you can't really monitor from YouTube, but like 1 million views would be viral. But anyway, that is kind of odd. I think it's an odd discrepancy. And so I'm going to go into my slightly conspiratorial theory here, which is that something weird was going on while she was in the race with the media. And I don't know. And like right now, this isn't just about defending my beloved Marianne Williamson, but this is also about the fact that if you're running for president, I kind of think you're going to need people, especially with AI coming up and all of these the potential for sort of like cyber warfare. I think that you're going to need people on your team who are very tech savvy, so tech savvy as to know how to get around a shadow ban and what it is and how it functions. And I do know that YouTube is one of the platforms that is most notorious for the shadow ban. I've encountered it, especially in the comment section where I'm commenting and then comment is disappearing, but it's only when I go back to look for my comment that I realize that it's gone. Like, you don't get any notice or anything. That's why it's a shadow ban, because but I have not encountered it with my own channel. Like, I generally find that my videos do better than I expect, actually. So I can't complain there. But yeah, there have been, like, you know, And I don't know why Democracy Now! Did so well. Like they did a interview with Marianne a week ago, and it got like 100,000 views in 24 hours, which is a very strong showing. So, especially compared to ABC, like when she did her campaign launch, ABC put out a video, and it was, I can't remember the number, but it was not close to that. Um, anyway, yes, this channel has mostly been about Marianne Williamson, so I don't know what I'm going to talk about now, but I am not a progressive, so I am not going to be on here doing the sort of bare bones of progressivism that, that Kyle Kalinske and those guys do, and the Majority Report, which seems to be doing like a kind of ghost of progressivism, because I think that their dream died with Bernie Sanders and they haven't really come back from that. But yes, so I don't really know what I will talk about on my channel, but I might look at Canadian politics and see if we have a Marianne. But it's not like you can just manufacture a Marianne. I'm sorry to say this, but as Goddess Glory once said, who was the first YouTuber I ever watched, you cannot manufacture a motherfucking leader. That shit has to come from within. So, yeah, she was upset about Oprah's school in Africa. She was complaining like that Oprah thought she was going to manufacture the new Condoleezza Rice out of Africa by spending a lot of money on these schools, and she thought that was really kind of crass, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I see the point of that actually, but then again, I didn't think Joe Biden was a leader, and there he is. So I guess I'll leave this there. Oh God, there's so many people I should appreciate, but if I start going through the list, LB, oh my God, that lady, when she talks, gives like my hair stands on end. It's amazing. Anyway, Oscar Carter, Alex Ross, Zachary Oz, Helen, of course, the famous Helen, who is always, 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 always kind to everyone, even when they're not being kind. Anyway, yeah, I could go on and on. Nathan Suko, Darren DeAngelo, Christian Strand, Jeanette Kerwin, Pam. No, not Pam. It's Deborah. Yeah, I'm losing names. Okay, yeah, I haven't slept. Anyway, I just saw Justin Otto today, who I met through the campaign in 2019. He was here in Bangkok, and he was on his way to Vietnam, so that was kind of cool. So anyway, yeah, basically, like, I am not a progressive who is just going to carry on with progressive policies and progressive ideals, because that was actually not what drew me to Marianne Williamson. I was not like the Medicare for All fanatic. I was never involved in Bernie Sanders' campaign. I have not read A Return to Love or A Course in Miracles or any of those, so it wasn't even from that I came to Marianne Williamson. It was that I was looking for the counterpart of Trump that was like the antidote of Trump. And I thought it had to be a woman. I thought it had to be a spiritual woman. I thought it had to be a bombastic woman who spoke her mind. And when I saw Marianne, she was all of that. And I also saw her as a leader. I saw her ability to command a room. And I thought that was more important than legislative experience or something like that, because I feel like the role of the presidency is a little bit more of a figurehead, for instance, than Speaker of the House or something like that, or a cabinet position. And I felt like it was, a lot of the role of the presidency is speaking in front of people and being able to motivate people and move people and inspire people to believe in something. And I thought she had that. And I don't think that Joe Biden has it. I don't think Kamala Harris has it. But you know what? I'm going to say something nice about Kamala Harris. I thought it was really, really classy and good of her to go to and support the Tennessee Three. I was glad she did that, and it seemed like they were going to be stranded for a little bit there, and then she went. And so I want to encourage that sort of thing. K Hive? Um, well, it's interesting. It sort of intrigued me that she has a K Hive, but yeah, they're not typically composed of very nice people. Anyway, I guess I'll leave this there. I love you all. You're all amazing. I have suspended my Twitter account. Um, I was requested not to deactivate because it deletes all your stuff, and they wanted to use it, some stuff or whatever, like saved pictures and whatnot, memes. So maybe they will use it for something. Anyway, so it's just sort of on the back burner for now. But I really, really hate it. Oh my god, Twitter. Twitter. Okay, it's not the worst though. You know, it's the worst one for me. I hate to say it, is TikTok because they just plunge you into motion and chaos, and there's no foyer for you to look at a menu or something. And Instagram is my second least favorite because it's just sort of like I feel like I'm stuck in an elevator with pictures, 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 and there's no text, and I can't get oriented. Um, anyway, yeah. So it's back to the tube for me. Love you all. Okay, bye.